Hello captains, this is Kent again and welcome to the flight show. So I've been giving a little bit of attention to this new release by Orbx, which is Australia version 2, and I've given a bit of a review of what it looks like to fly around, particularly around various areas of the continent, and I've finished off with Brisbane. Was it Melbourne? No, it was Brisbane, because it was incredible. But I thought, someone had said, well, what about Perth? And I was like, okay, fine, I'll Perth, but I didn't have the Perth airport until now. So what I thought would be nice is to get a real good idea of what the country looks like from one end to another. Let's do a flight from Perth to Brisbane, and that way we can look and see how the topography and the terrain changes flying from one end of the continent to the other. So I looked up on FlightAware the flights that do go from Perth to Brisbane, and they don't use the 747, but because I love the 747, we're going to break the rules. We're going to use the 747. Let's just say that they need to move it over to Brisbane for some maintenance. So why don't we just go ahead and get started. Before I start, check the list to the line. I'm just going to see if nothing. Okay, so there's nothing we can do. So that was to the line. We're now below the line. Checked auxiliary off. I'm just going through this quickly so we can get out of here. Alright, that's it. Let's go ahead and request pushback. Don't know why FS crew is like tripping, but that's okay. We're just gonna handle our business.
Good day, Captain. The tug is connected now, so we'll be pushing back in just a couple of minutes. Can you please confirm that your parking brake is set?
It is set, so we're good there.
We are locking the gear now.
Why, thank you. And now for the pushback. I will have to see why this isn't working.
The bypass is inserted, and we are ready to push. Okay, it looks like the apron is clear. Release parking brakes.
Alright.
Pushing now. Clear for engine start.
Alright. Starting 4 and 3. Now, by the way, the reason this is blank is because I have it exported to a screen below this so that I can see it better. Usually I might have my screen looking like this, and then I'll have the two displays exported. So I kind of switch between those two, so forgive me for. Okay, you have to forgive me. The video cut off because I did the maximum recording that I could do under one recording, so it has to reset itself. So now that's reset, but since it's been reset, we already have all of our engine start. We're pushback and ready to go. Our FS crew isn't, like wanting to behave, so I've gone through pretty much all the flows. So we are ready after takeoff checklist. We've gotten that knocked out, so we're ready for taxi. So we're going to put this as flaps 10. And we will turn on our, where are we at? Hold on. Oops, sorry. We'll put this to ATTA, you know what I mean. Alright, so now just checking, get this in position, quit moving back and forth. Okay, you're so sensitive. Alright, so it's no longer this, because we're not even using you anymore. From now on we'll just use the checklist, our digital checklist, because you're not acting right. So hydraulic, do we even have digital checklists here? I forget, because I've been using the -8 for so long now. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Nope. Just our good stuff. Alright, so let's get out of here. Clear on the left, clear on the right. Alright, so we will be taxiing to runway 3. I might edit this out, but I'm going to let it run for a little bit just so that you can see the Perth airport scenery. I'm sure some of you might be wondering if you're going to purchase that. So, best thing I can do is let you get a glimpse of it. Alright, we'll be making a right turn right about here. And now doing the right turn. There would be an airplane coming this way. Ignore that. And then we're going to turn. No, we're going. No, he's behind us. We're good. Alright. I was looking at my electronic flight bag over here on Avlasoft. We're doing good. Excellent. Alright, so since my FS crew isn't working, which I'm totally bummed by, we're just going to go ahead and select LNAV and VNAV as we taxi to our runway. Now to give you a view of things, since I know that's what you want to see. Frame rates are great. I mean, this is not the highest detail airport, but it's really not bad. I kind of like it. It's got some perks. I think it's cool. It's not an expensive airport, so I think it was worth the money. Okay. I go too fast. Yeah, it's pretty nice indeed. Okay. Alright, I'm going to bring you back when we're ready for takeoff. Okay, so we're almost here at the runway. Just giving it a turn. You remember, looking out of here, you got to turn late because your front wheel is recessed behind you. But that's a comfort level that you get, you know, as with experience. It's pretty intuitive to me now. I don't worry so much about it as I used to. Okay. Stop here. Before takeoff checklists. Flaps 10 green. Flight controls checked. Standby trim set. Departure data clearance. Let's say that we have it. Cabin is ready. Before takeoff procedure, we're going to put on our radar. Terrain is on for our other side. Let me just check that. Yep, terrain is on. I've done the pilot flying. I am pilot flying. Pilot monitoring, got to do all the strobes. Okay, we did all that earlier. Packs off. APU to packs takeoff. Packs 1 and 3 off. If packs off, take off. All packs off. Alright, we're just doing 1 and 3. Alright, so let's do the darn thing. Okay, we're lined up and ready. All right, takeoff thrust, takeoff. I'm not sure about how that PAX is supposed to work, but I followed the flows. But I'm just going to leave it alone for now, and we're just going to... If anybody wants to tell me about the PAX, feel free to put it in the comments section.
V1.
Uh-oh.
Rotate.
Rotate.
E2.
Positive rate. Gear up. Bye, Perth. Now the reason I can do this is because I have the flight director on the screen, off screen, so giving you an opportunity to see this beautiful rendering as we take off. Flaps 5. I'm not talking because I'm concentrating, just keeping my flight director on point, letting you enjoy the view. Alright, back to the cockpit. Okay, we're going to go ahead and make our altitude Since I don't have the benefit of FS Crew helping me, gotta throw this up, and we're just gonna give it to our cruising altitude of 35,000. Or was it 34? Yeah, it's 35. There we go. Flaps up. Alright, not bad. Countryside looking beautiful. So what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and engage autopilot left in command. This will give us an opportunity to kind of look outside and see what the Australian version 2 scenery is looking like. Very nice vegetation. Now what I'm going to do as we fly, you're going to get some periodic views when we change from one kind of vegetation or topography. Well, topography will be pretty much the same unless we're going over a mountainous region, but at least the vegetation, be it there or not there, just to give you a view of how Orbx changes the scenery as we cross the continent. So I will bring you back in a little bit. I think I'll hold off until after 10,000 because then we can go ahead and, you guessed it. Oh, so about turning off the landing lights. I never turned them on. At least I thought I did. Nope. Okay. My bad. There's a lot going on. I'm supposed to have a co-pilot. Left me high and dry. Sorry. Alright, I'll bring you back later.
Our complimentary in-flight entertainment system contains a great selection of movies and TV programs. There is also a dedicated children's channel. All entertainment will commence shortly and will be available until we arrive at the gate. The complete selection of entertainment available is detailed in each flight magazine located in your seat pocket. You can now use your electronic devices as long as flight mode was selected prior to our departure.
Well, clearly the flight attendants work. Now what I thought I'd just show you is what to expect in terms of the vegetation changing as we go from Perth to Brisbane. So as you see, we've just taken off here and we will be coming into this area right here because our path, though I don't have it here on Google Maps, it's taking us across this way. So once we get through this, you're going to be going from a greenish vegetation to it coming into more desert-like, and then we should be passing over a mountainous region here. Then it really changes perspective as we come across this way, and that's what I'm hoping to see, some nice dramatic changes. So I'll bring you in as we have significant changes in our topography based on our location, and then we should be coming back into green vegetation as we approach Brisbane. Okay, see you in a little bit. So even at this altitude, there's a good deal of detail that you see on the surrounding terrain. And here is what is cool as for all get out. If you look right here, I believe that is actually the shadow of our aircraft on the ground. Sweet! Couldn't have even planned that. Totally cool. So as we get to look around a little bit, we have going on here? Okay. Turn those off. Fuel tank engaged. So let's turn those off. That should handle it. There we go. So back to what we were doing. Admiring the aircraft and the surrounding terrain. Looks very good. The PBO materials are looking really nice as well. But okay, just giving you a peek. We'll be back. Okay, so now we're reaching our first place or next area of of vegetation change. Sorry. If we take a look here over the forward wing, we're leaving kind of the greenery area, and now we're entering a little bit more of the sparse vegetation. Let's get another look here. Very nice. Now, I'm not entirely sure where this translates to. Let me take a quick look. Okay, so we are roughly, if I'm going to show you on a map very quickly. We are roughly in this region here, somewhere about in there. So you should be seeing the topography change as well as the vegetation change. Let's take a look outside. Very nice. Greenery to our south, becoming outback in our north. Excellent. All right. Way to model the Australian outback. All right. See you in a little bit. Okay, so I thought I'd bring you back. We're in another part of the vegetation change. What we are flying over is, we seem to be in the vicinity of not quite at Madura, but pretty close. As a matter of fact, I'll show you on the map. Let me just jump up here real fast. Right now, we should be roughly in this region right here when you're basically looking at it from outside the plane. So let's take a look. And based on my Google map, as far as what the terrain should look like in terms of the vegetation, spot on. Now we're cruising at 35,000 feet, and so in the outback, you can argue, well, what's there really to see? Well, it depends on how you look at it. If you've never lived in this sort of, countryside before, there's a lot to see, a lot to compare. Like me in the United States, I've never lived in a desert region, so, I can appreciate this. It's really interesting to fly over and to see. And it's also fascinating, that, when you have towns like Forest, which is what we'd be flying, near and over pretty soon, you're just like, why did the towns pop up there? It's so far from water, you just wonder, what is it like, and what made a town exist? There are towns like that I think about in the United States, like the DeKalb, Michigan. It's up in the Upper Peninsula, or Escanaba. It's like, you think of how cold it is there, and the fact that there's nothing up there that a former Strategic Air Command base. You wonder, when winter came, what made people say, okay, this is our spot, this is what we're rolling with, this is where we're sticking our claim? Could never understand it. But so it's the same fascination, just instead of it being cold, bloody hot. But anyway, on with our little tour. So the continent is looking beautiful. And then the active sky has the weather going great. Oh my gosh, the shadows on the ground from the clouds. Frame rate's beautiful. Really can't complain. Alright, I'll bring you back as we get further in our flight. Now at this point, I wanted to show you Nullarbor National Park, but I can't because there's an overcast. In fact, if I just quickly bring up the weather for right now, this is us, and that's Nullarbor. So ain't nothing going on here. In fact, I don't think there'll be really anything to see until we get kind of in this region, which I'm gonna have to say is somewhere over Yellowbina. I think that's gonna be kind of out in this region, but don't quote me on that. Does that give us a particular local place? No, it doesn't, just the weather. So I'm going to ballpark that that's going to be Yellowbina before you start to see a break up in the clouds. So we'll keep it moving. Okay, so we got a little bit of a break in the clouds, and so what you're looking at here in this region, see, there is the South Atlantic right there, and or is that the Arctic Ocean? I forget. What is that? No, that's not Atlantic. It's the Great Australian Bight. Oh my gosh, how embarrassing. So anyway, there's the Great not Bight, but Bight. So this is like the Atlantic. Jeez, take a geography course, Kent. But anyway, so you can see the sea out there, and this region that you're looking at right here would be, I'm kind of thinking we're looking at what is this? Yalta, Australia, and be somewhere, maybe that's what that is right there. So again, just giving you a chance to see what's going on out here. And over on this side, nothing but red. Vegetation towards the sea, outback, lower north. Okay, keep you posted. We are coming along nicely. So I just wanted you to see that it's covered in cloud cover, but we're passing over this region that, let me just show you on the map. I don't even know what these are. Is this sand dunes or I don't know what it is, but I see that we're flying over it, and it's actually modeled here and rendered, so I thought that was pretty cool. Which should have just turned, trying to be realistic, I had the weather on, should have just turned it off so we could see everything, but that's okay. So we are now in that region, as you can see. Looks beautiful, looks absolutely beautiful. Even though we're in the outback, where there's not a lot, maybe some dingoes, kangaroos, I don't know. More dingoes than roos out here in this region, but nevertheless, or at least that's what I thought. Coming along, we are, let's take a look. We're about halfway to our destination. Okay, we're back now, and as it would seem, we are now passing over. Let me go ahead and bring it up on the map. We should be flying over the Ikra Flinders Granges National Park. I always feel like I'm mispronouncing that or something. But yeah, that is what we are passing over at this particular point. So you can see how it is rendered in the Australia version 2. Now, it should also be noted that not only do I have that, but I'm also using Pilot's Ultimate Terrain Mesh. So some of that definition I'm sure is attributed to Australia version 2, but I can also argue that that's part of Pilot's mesh, which gives more accurate topographical altitudes or heights. Who's to say? I can't without separating the two, but I know with the combination of the two of them, looks really nice. Just as we pan out of the window, or let's see if we can get it here. Guess it's better looking right there, or over the aircraft. Absolutely stunning. Now, this video is already gotten to be a bit long, so I've decided to break this up into two particular parts. I don't know if this is the part that'll be part 2 or if it'll still be attached to part 1, but know that the flight, I do know this is going to be entirely too long to just be one video, so it'll be a part 1 and 2. And all I can say is that if you want to get to know the Australian continent, then again, this is a must-have. Now you think, well, what is there to see if you're really up at this altitude? Well, considering, you know, the mountainous region here, that's better than it being just plain old flat, wouldn't you agree? And besides, nothing prevents you from doing some general aviation flying and really getting to see things down there, down and dirty with some general aviation aircraft. So I'm just basically showing you what it's looking like as we cross from one part of the continent to the other, particularly through its southern region, not necessarily its northern region. All right, we're over halfway there, so I'll bring you back in a little bit. So we have a new bit of topography that's being a new type of topography that's being rendered here. Now, I am not to say what is the cause of this kind of geological formation, but, you know, again, for those in Australia, you would be more familiar with this, but at least that I can say as an observer, it is a distinct difference in the terrain that we have flown over in, previously, and once again, the detail that has been brought out in the Australia version 2 scenery. Although this may have been in the version 1, I never, even though I had it, I never flew across Australia before. But I was really curious with version 2, the claim of how detailed it was from coast to coast, so I had to give it a shot. But just wanted you to get a look and see a bit of the rendering. Maybe just looking at it, some of you might even be familiar with exactly where we are. If not, I would say, looking at it on the map, we are somewhere past Bimbori, if I'm saying that right. Bimbowrie, Bimbori. I know you guys are just cracking up on me, but nevertheless, I digress. See you in a little bit. Well, judging by the looks of it, we are now kind of coming out of the interior of Australia and coming back to the east coast, where we're now approaching some greenery and vegetation. So we are almost at the end of our journey. We would say, looking at, let's see here, top of descent hasn't come into view when we're looking at the 160 mile range. However, if I zoom out, 320 miles, a little beyond that, will be our top of descent. So all things considered, be it that we had over 1,000 miles to fly, we're almost there. Now, for the good and the bad of it, or should I say, now for the good and the bad of it, or, geez, now, for the good or the bad of it, it seems that our flight was so long that we're actually getting in there in the evening time. Well, the upside is this, is that you're going to get to see Brisbane with the evening time, rather than it just be the entire, you know, daytime scenery from one side or the other. At least now you're also going to get a chance to see how the nighttime graphics are rendered. So, as you can see, we're a little over 160 miles out from top of descent. So, we'll be getting things going to get down into Brisbane in just a moment. Well, that's not just a moment, but it will be from your perspective because, of course, I'm editing this. Okay, so as you can see, looking out of the window, there is really nothing to see because we're not in the region where there's actually any city lights just yet. So passengers, they're just chilling out, checking out what's there to see. A little bit of vegetation on the ground, maybe some small lights for some rural areas. But for the, oh, look at that PBR material gleam right there from what I'm going to assume is moonlight or starlight. Ah, moonlight indeed. Very nice. I'm kind of loving this. But as you can see, we are now in our descent. I've already gone through descent checklists. Pilot is monitoring recall and set the DADH on the first officer's panel, and cross-check verification of VREF, cross-check VREF and MPC selections. Let's just assume that we have done that. And now it is a matter of just bringing this plane into Brisbane. So there's not going to be a whole lot to see in terms of outside, but you will be checking out our procedures. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the dome. And soon we will be turning on lights. So rather than bore you with just this part, as soon as we get to where a little bit more action is going to be had, I'll bring you right back. Okay, this is us on the approach. I am, let's see if I can go ahead and change this to, hold on. Okay, so I forget the control that I wanted to use. Doesn't matter. We are now off of standardized, so we are checking our barometric pressure. Good. We are now below 10,000 feet, so let's go ahead and put on our landing lights. I know they tend to just put on the two. I like them all on. And, of course, our logo, so people can know who we are, which is Qantas. Now we're starting to see a little bit more of the urban environment as we are approaching Brisbane. Excellent. Now, I see that I do not have the indicator of whether I'm on the proper descent or not. And I'm not entirely sure why. Let's see here. I'm just going to check something. No, that's fine. But we are going to assume that I've got everything going on the way that I should. Just checking our VNav here. Okay. Drag required. Drag given. Alright, so we do have our localizer. It is active. So we should be coming on it pretty soon. Our descent, I think we should be at our altitude of our restriction is 3,000 feet or above, so we'll be fine with that. Let's zoom this in a little bit. Alright, so we have VREF and all of that taken care of. Oh, we got a pause. Should be okay, as long as I don't touch it. Alright, so we are coming up on Glen Waypoint, which is when we will make our turn onto our final. So we'll we'll just have the phone ringing. Our glide slope is alive, and we're a little below it, so that's good. I'll have to call her back just in a moment. Alright. Hang in there. Oh, this city. The cityscape and the lights are absolutely beautiful. Just in case anyone's curious, right now, it's a challenge. It's like 17 frames per second, but it looks pretty smooth. So hopefully it'll stay that way through our approach. So the night lighting of Brisbane is absolutely to die for. Get a quick external look of the aircraft. Alright, so we can retract our speed brake. We're about to reach our altitude very soon. Flaps 1. I mean, absolutely amazing. Alright, gotta keep our attention on the ball. I'm gonna let you enjoy the scenery. I'm going to export my other display. Okay, we are now turning on to our final. Localizer is alive, so we will arm localizer. Glide slow approach is active. Alright, we're going to arm our speed. We're going to bring it down to 180. Flaps 5. Gear down. We're a little to the right, but we're on the localizer. Plane should adjust. Flaps 10. So we are going to arm spoilers. There is our runway in the distance.
2500.
Okay. Flaps 30. Let's see here. Come on back. What the heck? Screen. Alright, it's getting a little choppy here. Let's bring it down to VREF. Alright, this is about to be my aircraft. My aircraft. Okay, so you cannot see off screen, but I'm actually have the displays on a monitor below the screen that you're seeing. So I'm looking at the glide slope and we are on it.
Approaching 0, 1.
Landing checklist speed brake down. Landing gear down 3 greeting. Cabin ready. Missed approach altitude set. Flaps 30. Green. Alright. A little over, but we can correct. No problem. Alright. A little low. It's okay. Discontinue and disarming auto throttle.
30, 20, 10.
Reversers normal. Manual braking. Retract spoilers. Okay, we can go ahead and exit the runway. Maybe I need to update my AFCAD. I'm not entirely sure. But this is going to work. Even though this is not going to produce a large gate, we'll just roll with it. Let's see. I'm going to turn here. Yeah, these AFCADs are definitely wrong because this is not general aviation. Okay, we'll turn that off. Oh, I should have acknowledged. It's alright. Alright, we're going to turn here. Gate, and we are going to ask for $24. Or should that have been 23? At this point, I don't care. Oh, I'm actually early. I should have turned. So it is 24. So we'll just turn hard here. Looking over. To worry. All right, almost there. We're going to stop a little short of this because that's just what we need to do. And I'm going to put it right Okay. And I didn't turn on the APU, so my FS crew, where were you when I needed you? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that on, and we're going to go ahead and bring you out because there was not a place for this big old airplane. Maybe that's why when I was looking at the thing, it was only 737s that were flying into here. But I really do hope you enjoy. Where are the lights? Why is it so dark? Okay, so there's some visuals that we got to work on for here for the nighttime. But I just want to say thank you for staying with me through this video for showing off the Australian Outback going from Perth to Brisbane. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm flying into Sydney next time. And I look forward to seeing you in the virtual skies.